Well, I guess there's the theory of mindfulness, which is described as being fully present or in the now. And then there's the practical application of mindfulness, which is really using your breath and focusing on your breath to gently access your senses, but in relation both to your body and what is around you. And you do that in that given moment. There are actually so many answers to that. I was thinking the other day about what it personally means to me and the benefits it gives me. And firstly, there's the physical one, which is that you relax. So it's a lovely feeling of all the muscles in your body just relaxing themselves, and that's a wonderful feeling. Secondly, it's also about being able to understand your body better. So that can be in the sense of saying, what's best for my body and how do I best nurture it? It can be something as simple as this food I'm eating. Is it actually what is good for my body? So you gain a greater awareness of your body and what it needs and wants. So on that level alone, physically, it's powerful. But it's so much more than that. So it's also about what it does for you mentally. So by focusing on your breath, you can also allow your thoughts to settle and to focus. And the wonderful benefit of that is that you end up feeling much sharper, much brighter in thought. And then there's the emotional side. So one of the biggest things I think of when I think of mindfulness is the word peace or calm, because that is truly what mindfulness does for you. So when you're feeling stressed or worried or anxious, what happens is that your emotions start to calm down through your breath, and it's a lovely feeling of release. And then lastly, there is the spiritual aspect, which is that when you are practicing mindful techniques, you end up feeling as if you're discovering who you truly are. One of the ways in which I like to describe mindfulness is to say, it feels like you've come home. And it's exactly what it feels like to me. So on all those levels, I think mindfulness is an invaluable part of life. Well, I started using mindful techniques long before it was fashionable, in fact. It was years ago I was practicing yoga, and I just became very aware that I really have a phenomenal capacity for worry. I have doctorates in worrying, and I really looked at what I wanted to do about it. And mindfulness is a wonderful way to approach anxiety, worry, stress. The reason I say that is because when you worry, usually what you're worrying about is something in the future or something in your past about which you feel unhappy. And when you're being mindful, what you're doing is focusing on the now. So it's a great way to look at, why am I worrying and what can I do about it, and to realize where it manifests itself with you, and then learn through techniques how to let go of that. Yes, because I think it's very helpful to understand the theory behind mindfulness. Most people know that mindfulness is a technique that involves awareness of breath. But I think to understand that in a more detailed sense is really helpful. And then, secondly, once you understand the theory, it's saying, I'm going to practice it. And all my books are filled with meditations and exercises that allow you to experience it for yourself. So, yes, by all means, understand the theory, but then live it, because the living it and experiencing it is the truly valuable and magical part. I think you can learn elements of mindfulness within a few minutes. And because I have seen people do it. So you can do it in small ways, and then it depends on you how wide the spectrum is and how much you want to progress. There are obviously different levels of mindfulness, but even if a simple thing, take an apple and look at it and appreciate where it's come from and what's been involved in its process, and give thanks for that, and then to eat it really slowly and to really enjoy it. It's very simple, but it's a wonderful mindful technique, and I think that can give enormous pleasure. It can, and I think the reason why it can is because every practical issue that we face in life usually has a very strong emotion attached to it. So we can look at, why can I not do this? Why am I not doing this? How do I solve that? But you need to understand the emotion behind that, usually before we have the breakthrough and move forward. And as I mentioned earlier, because of the way mindfulness works, it really does look at your life from a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level, which means that you have a chance to deal with a practical issue holistically, rather than just dealing with the surface and then having the issues come back to bite you again. I understand why people find it difficult, and it is something that becomes easier with time and with practice. There are also small techniques you can use which will help you through that initial stage. So, simple things like focusing on a couple of basic words, such as in when you breathe in and out when you breathe out, or counting from 1 to 10. I appreciate that means you're still thinking of a word, but it does help to massively narrow down those thoughts and stop all the other things from rushing around. So you can do simple things that will help you on that process. And then once you do, the it's so wonderful to empty your mind and to have nothing in it, that once you experience it, you just want to go back there again because it's so lovely.